Welcome to Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by IronMag Labs. Make your mark. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Wednesday, July 27th, 2016. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Can someone remind me again who's the only athlete in the history of the sport to win 7 Arnold Classic titles? Or maybe, who won the 2008 Olympia? Or who's this year's New York Pro Champion? Because, for the life of me, I can't seem to figure out why no one is talking about Dexter Jackson heading into this year's Olympia. Did he not finish second in last year's contest and give Phil Heath a run for his money? Or am I missing something? With all the talk swirling around what we should make of the Phil vs. Levrone scenario, Dexter has become a bit of a forgotten man again. And you know what? I secretly think he likes it. Dexter Jackson is someone who loves playing the role of the disrespected underdog. And if I had to bet my money on one athlete who is guaranteed to show up, kick ass, and head home with a top 3 finish, there's no way I'm stacking all my chips on anyone in this lineup who's not named Dexter Jackson. Cue the music, ladies and gentlemen, because we have some breaking news. Oksana Grishina is back. After dominating the first 2 contests of the season by strapping on the gloves and giving the competition a good old-fashioned beatdown, the undisputed queen of fitness is officially back on her Olympia grind and looking to remind the world why she's the only woman in the sport we refer to on a first-name basis. From a physique standpoint, Oksana looks like she's well on her way to bringing back her usual level of excellence. And when you throw in the fact that she's arguably the greatest performer in the history of the sport, it already feels like we can start lasering her name onto the Olympia trophy. Let's be honest, when she's at her best, Oksana is in a class all by herself. And I'm pretty positive that the Vegas odds makers have made her the sure bet to win another Olympia title once again in late September. We can't mention dominant female champions in the sport right now without getting to the 2-time reigning and defending women's physique Olympia champ, Juliana Malacarne. The baddest woman in physique is knee-deep in this year's contest preparations, as she continues to chase history and cement her legacy as the best female physique competitor to ever grace the stage. Despite sitting out the entire season, Malacarne doesn't look like she's skipped a beat. And if anything, it almost looks like he's fresher right now than at any point we've seen from her in the past few seasons. Malacarne is without a doubt the hands-down runaway pre-show favorite, as she attempts to become the first woman in the history of physique to three-peat in the Olympia. And barring her car somehow getting lost on the way to the Orleans Arena, and we end up with the Cedric McMillan situation on our hands, I don't see any possible scenario that ends with her not coming home with the crown. It's been a while since we've heard anything from Henri Pierre. The former Canadian national overall champion has been pretty quiet since he made his season debut at the Vancouver Pro a few weeks ago. This year's open lineup in Vancouver was pretty stacked from top to bottom, but Ano stepped in and showed some really nice improvements on his way to carrying out an 8th place finish. From the look of things, he seems to be keeping close to fighting shape, which leaves the door open for us to see him again before the season winds down. Ano has great shape and some great tools to work with, but he gets outsized a bit by some of the bigger competitors in the lineups. But if he shows up in undeniable condition and picks his spots right, he has all the makings of someone who can contend for the win if the callouts fall in his favor. If you've been wondering what David Henry's strategy is for this year's Olympia, you're in luck, because we've got some inside access to the Henry camp. And the strategy is quite simple: lift heavy things and show up shredded. So far, so good. Coming off his 3rd place finish earlier in the year at the Arnold Classic, Henry is back to doing what he does best and looking like an absolute savage just under 8 weeks out from the Olympia. Even on a very, very slight decline, David Henry is still one hell of a bodybuilder that absolutely deserves his name to be mentioned alongside the best in the sport. But with Flex Lewis chasing history and a surging Hide Yamagishi, it's tough to see a scenario where the original Giant Killer ends up recapturing the title. But that's what David Henry wants people to think, because when he's the most underestimated, he's also the most dangerous. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning, brought to you by IronMag Labs. Make your mark. Check out IronMagLabs.com today. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hey guys, it's Stevie B here. If you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button below and never miss another RX Muscle show, segment, or update. RX Muscle is #1. Woo!